In terms of coverage and blind spots, so today, when you already use, for example, tools like Cursor and other IDEs that have AI inside them that can help you implement your data pipelines and data assets, that even today can help you generate test coverage and test for your data assets. But the problem is that the context they have is only about the code, the SQL code, metadata that exists in the code, and that's it. With Elementary MCP, you can basically provide it context from your production environments, from past incidents, but you can provide context that is related to usage. For example, a very common use case is that you have BI assets connected to your data assets that consume the data in different breakdowns. For example, if you have tables that contain metrics, usually you have a set of dimensions that data consumers use to group by these metrics and data assets. It's very important to make sure that you test your data assets according to these breakdowns, because otherwise you might catch an issue in the overall table, but miss in a specific dimension value, for example, in a specific country or region or something like that. So really getting the context from elementary on historical incidents, lineage, downstream usage of data assets will help you get to a coverage that will actually help you eliminating the blind spots and making sure that you cover the critical data assets and the breakdowns your data is actually being used with.
So here you can see the test coverage page in Elementary. You can see coverage right now at the asset upstream from the CPI and ROAS model is pretty low. We want to increase that. So this could be the start point for us to work on our coverage. We know that we just now had an incident related to the CPI and ROAS. So this is a critical asset and we don't want any issues there, specifically not any issues that will reduce the quality of this data, because we had the dashboard downstream and this is a critical asset. Starting from the incident we had before, this is already in the context of Cursor, the incident, the lineage, the test executions. Now we want to make sure this won't happen again. We fixed the issue, we found the issue, we fixed it. Let's say we open a PR, but the next necessary step is to make sure it won't happen again. In the same chat, we already have all the context. We can then do the next step of adding test upstream to prevent this from happening again. So Cursor already has the lineage in the context window and the incident details in the context window, everything he needs to know where to add the test and what test needs to be added in order to prevent that issue from propagating down again. And what Cursor can do here is two things. One is it can add a test in the DBT project, like we see it already started doing. Either test the general DBT test or elementary anomaly detection test that it can know and how to configure using the test catalog, also in the existing the MCP. But another cool thing Cursor can do is to add automated monitor tests in elementary. We have automated monitors in Elementary about detecting anomalies and freshness issues out of the box. So you don't even need to configure them in DBT or to run them as part of your pipeline. They're running on our side using ML models. So Cursor can also, besides adding these tests in the YAML files, use the MCP tools to add automated monitors in Elementary to increase the test coverage we saw before.